Greatest unsolved mysteries of all time. One severed foot beach in British Columbia is not uncommon for bodies to wash up on beaches, but for one beach in British Columbia, severed feet have consistently been floating ashore for the past several years, causing numerous theories to be put forth. To Jack the Ripper. The name Jack the Ripper has been heard in many shows and movies, pertaining to the serial killer who murdered 11 women in London's East End in the late 1800s, but was never identified. Most of his victims were prostitutes, whose bodies were mutilated beyond recognition and their throats slashed. 3 cryptos just outside the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, you will behold a statue that has coded inscriptions on its surface. This very captivating sculpture was created by Jim Sanborn to show that everything can be resolved and decoded with the use of patterns and clues. Of the 4 inscription sections that were included, only the first 3 have been cracked. But the 4th? Not even the brilliant minds in the CIA were able to get to the bottom of it. For Shepherd's Monument inscription in Staffordshire, England, there is a sculpture that has invited the wits and intellect of many intellectuals in an attempt to decode an inscription reading Tao of Avm. Although the Shepherd's Monument was constructed back in the 18th century, the letters found therein were never solved, even 250 years after it was completed. 5 to Mumshud. Back in December 1948, an unidentified man was found dead. JavaScript in Somerton Beach, located in Adelaide, Australia. Found in one of his pockets was a piece of paper with the words to Mumshud written on it. The words were translated finished or ended, based on excerpts found in the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Although governments around the world have tried to identify the man, his identity has remained mystery. 6 Rongorongo and the mysterious Easter Islands where the Moai stands, a set of glyphs have been discovered, called the Rongorongo. These glyphs have never been deciphered, although they may contain clues concerning the huge heads found scattered around the island. 7 The Lost City of Atlantis. The city of Atlantis has been imagined as the crowning city of Neptune, where mermaids and mermen live. But based on what Plato has discussed during his time, specifically with his 2 dialogues Timaeus and Critias, it specifically mentioned the existence of Atlantis based on the stories being heard during the journeys, and how Atlantis was in its prime state, thus giving a clue that the place did exist, as Plato was a real entity. Now that it's sunk into the deep, many are still wondering if it is real, knowing that there are certain objects underwater that may be the remnants of this once beautiful city. 8 Extraterrestrials. From the mysteries found in the Eastern Islands, to the Bermuda Triangle, and even with the Roswell incident during World War II, men have always been in question as to whether we are not alone in the universe. With some claiming to have been abducted and others calling hogwash, there is as of yet no consensus. 9 SS Orang Medan. What happened to SS Orang Medan, or man from Medan in Malaysia, is perhaps one of the most fascinating and mind-boggling mysteries that ever existed in seafaring history. Everything began with Anso's message in 1947 that mentioned the captain, along with the rest of the crew, was dead. What's worse, even the telegrapher died during the transmission of the message. When the Silver Star was able to receive the distress call and went to inspect the ship, they confirmed the deaths of all aboard. Speculations of ghosts, hazardous chemicals, and even aliens have been raised, but there is still no conclusion as to what actually happened. 10 Mackenzie Poltergeist. In Greyfriars. Mackenzie Poltergeist is one of the most famous attractions when taking the City of the Dead tour within the Greyfriars Kirkyard in Edinburgh, as people who join the tour experience bruises, scratches, and some even faint as they enter and see the Black Mausoleum where Sir George Mackenzie lies. Is it all for show? Maybe there's only one way to find out.